Aloha! They haven't quite tuned in yet. Aloha! There we go. Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Tucson. I'm Reverend Jonathan. I guess I'm now Reverend Dr. Jonathan since I'm not used to that yet. I am the senior minister here at Unity of Tucson, and this is a space where we come together every single Sunday to celebrate love. What do you say about that? Yes. Because I just returned from my annual trip to retreat in Hawaii, that's why we're doing a little bit of a Hawaii theme today, and it means it's the one Sunday every year that I do barefoot. If you feel like standing up and moving your body to this song, feel free. You can be barefoot. Anyone can be barefoot. Something great is happening. Love has taken hold and it won't let go of us now. Something here is calling us forward, upward motion. We're drops in one ocean. Roll on. Will you rise up with me today? Lift up your voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the voice of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a word that we're all creating. It's the moment of our greatness. Let's stand together now. Whoa, whoa. Every day's a chance you can do something amazing to feel your passion blazing and shine. Paint with every vision and dance in new directions. Explode to new heights in your mind. I will rise up with you today. Lift up my voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the voice of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's the moment of our greatness. Let's stand together. Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the voice of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's the moment of our greatness. Let's stand together now. Oh, I'll tell you, being refreshed and rejuvenated and when I go on these spiritual journeys, I don't like to call them retreats because I'm not retreating from anything. I'm advancing into the next iteration of my magnificence. And so I went on a spiritual advance these last 2 weeks, and boy, what an advance it was. But I am deeply grateful to be back here with this community, with my loving spiritual family, and I'm so grateful to see your magnificent faces. Here at Unity of Tucson, we are a spiritual community, a spiritual family, and we are here providing practical tools that we can incorporate to make our lives better, practical spiritual tools. And I'm talking a little bit about those tools today in my message, and I'm super excited about what I have to say today. And it's the beginning of the fall renewal season where we're focusing on this book, Working with the Law by Raymond Hollowell. Who started reading it? Yeah, it's a good book. If you haven't picked one up, you can pick it up in our bookstore. Super, super excited about it. Now, one thing I do want to clarify. You may not believe everything you hear today. You hear me say that every week, right? Only when I'm here. You may not believe everything you hear today. But I do think you're going to hear something that will resonate with you. And part of what we're here to do is to allow ourselves to look at our belief system, because our beliefs are creating our experience. That's what the great master said. It is done unto you as you believe. And so as we address what it is we believe, if there's something that is not working, let that belief go. And let's replace it with a better belief. What do you say? Sound like a good plan? Yeah. We carry a vision and mission here at Unity of Tucson, and I would love for you to share the words of our vision statement here with me right now. We envision a world awakened to its magnificence. That's how we see the world, and the mission is how we achieve that vision. So please say with me the words of our mission statement. Love only, forgive everything, Remember who you are. Sometimes I just got to stop and take it in. Remember, that was a lovely meditation this morning, Sue. Reverend Sue Oliver led the meditation this morning. Thank you so much. I'm a little off the hook today, I think. Can you tell? If you're joining us here for the first time today, good luck. Because this is me with only one cup of coffee. First of all, let me reach out and say hello to everybody who may be joining us online for the first time today and say thank you for joining us, making your presence known in this virtual way. We'd love to continue the connection, so if you were willing to go to unitytucson.com/connect and fill out some information there, we will continue to know each other in this way, and hopefully we'll see you here in the room very soon. But if you are here in the room for the first time today, well, if you have a level of comfort that allows you to stand up and let yourself be known, we have a gift that we would like to give to you. So is there anyone who's joining us for the first time today? Welcome. Thank you for being here. Welcome. Welcome. And if you remain standing for just a moment, if you would remain standing for just a moment as these gifts come around to you, we have done our research because we're that good. We knew you were going to be here today. And so we looked into you, and we found out something about you. Shall we let them know what we found out? All right, here we go. You are magnificent. Yes, you are. Thanks for shining your light, sharing your magnificence here with us. Blessings. You can be seated. Now, we know that about you because we do the research into ourselves. And every single person that we encounter is a reflection of that which is inherently us. And so I think it's important that we exclaim for ourselves this statement. Let's say this together. I am magnificent. Let's do that one more time. I am magnificent. Yeah. Doesn't that feel good? Yes. Well, speaking of magnificence, there's something that happened at the gala. Yes, almost a month ago now. Can you believe that? And we honored somebody at the gala who was not able to be present at the gala. And so I wanted to make sure that she was honored publicly when she is in the room. So I'm going to invite William to bring Molly Nelson down to the front. Well, William, do you mind turning her around so at least the people on the camera can see her?
Maybe the other side was her good side.
Molly, how do you feel about that? Actually, yeah, go ahead and sit down if you would for a moment. One of my favorite things to do in this world is honor people. And Molly, let's face it, I'm going to say something and it's going to come out not in the way I intend it. But Molly is a fixture here at Unity of Tucson. And her absence was felt so deeply when she was not able to be here. And I'm so grateful to see you back. I'm so grateful to see you well. And what I wanted to let you know is that I'll tell you what happened. I talked to the board and I talked to people about people in our community who I think are deserving of recognition. And then, as I said at the gala, I said, and like on RuPaul's Drag Race, I take all of their advice, but the final decision is mine and mine alone to make. And so I decided this year that I wanted to honor Molly with the Spiritual Paragon Award. Oh. Now, it says given this 30th day of September 2022, because that's when it was announced. This award is given for exemplifying principle through your years of service and commitment to our spiritual community. Molly Nelson. I am so grateful to you and for every interaction that we have. And if you would like to say just a couple words, I can go grab a microphone. Or you can speak into my microphone there.
I am so grateful for all of our interactions, and I love you deeply.
Oh, I love you too, Molly. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Molly Nelson. Thank you, William. Yeah. Yeah, we love you, Molly. Approaching the candles here, our Flames of Faith is our keeper of the flames today, Lynn Peterson. Yes.
And I'm supposed to be following this?
Yeah. She is here to light the flames of faith, which is a ceremony or ritual that we've adopted here at Unity of Tucson. For each candle that we light here, we are honoring the faith traditions of the world and understanding that each and every one of them is grounded in one common thread, and I believe that thread is pure love. If you would, please.
Sure. We light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as a path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to divine love as the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for all faith traditions unnamed in the ceremony. I just skipped over one, I'm sorry. And for any seekers who may be unaware of the power and presence of spirits in their lives, and for the space that we are keeping open for them in our hearts. We light a candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through practice of universal spiritual principles. We light this final candle to represent the healing of any circumstances that require divinity to be revealed. This is your candle, for whatever is in your mind and heart that requires the light.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome. And welcome back, sweetie.
Thank you. The candle here on your left is our peace candle. I don't need this yet. We keep the peace see, I go away for a few weeks and I can't remember what the heck I'm supposed to do. We keep the peace candle consistently illuminated with this idea that its consistent illumination is a reflection of the consistent illumination of peace in our hearts. And as we allow that inner peace to inform our thoughts, our deeds, our intentions, our words, our actions, then right where we are creating a more peaceful world. It begins right where we are, at the center of us. And so let's honor this understanding by reading together the prayer for world peace. Divine love indwells each person and radiates from one to another. Harmony is established and peace begins to reign in the world. Indeed it does. Would you please welcome one of our prayer chaplains here serving us today with a reading and an affirmation and to guide us in prayer, Sherry Bolin.
I would just like to say that this is the first time I've ever spoken from a church platform barefoot. And if I had known, I would have had my toes done. But I didn't know, so anyway. So good morning. The reading this morning is from Jalal al-Din Rumi. And most of us just know him as Rumi, right? And as many of you know already, Rumi was a Persian poet and a Sufi mystic. And he was the founder of the order of whirling dervishes. Wow is right. This reading is quite short, so listen or you might miss it. Rumi was good at being succinct. He wrote, "Set your life on fire and seek those who fan your flames." Yeah. You got it, or do you want to hear it again? Okay. Set your life on fire and seek those who fan your flames. I love that. Our affirmation, I'm supposed to do the affirmation, right? Things changed up a little bit, so I'm trying to go with the flow. The affirmation today, it's our practice, as most of you know, that I'll read the affirmation first. And then I will ask you to just listen, actually hear it, let it wash over you, take it in, and see how it speaks to you. And then we'll repeat it together 2 times, okay? So here it is. I live my life enthusiastically, fully expressing the infinite potential of each and every moment. Now, will you join me? I live my life enthusiastically, fully expressing the infinite potential of each and every moment. And once again, I live my life enthusiastically, fully expressing the infinite potential of each and every moment.
So the way things have changed a little bit today is because I wanted to share with you something I learned when I was in Hawaii. One of the events that I participated in was with Kumu Sabra Kauka, who is, Kumu is a revered individual on the island, and she is a historian, a storyteller, and has deep faith. And she invited the group I was with to learn a Hawaiian chant. And so I wanted to do this chant before leading into the prayer today. What I will tell you is that the chant translates in this way. Awaken, arise, the sun in the east, from the ocean, the deep ocean, climbing to heaven, the highest heaven in the east. There is the sun, arise. And it is a call to each and every one of us to let the light in us arise. So I invite you to close your eyes and just take it in.
E ala e, kalai kahikina, I ka moana hohonu, pi I ka lewa nuu, I ka hikina, ayakala, e ala e. E ala e, kalai kahikina, I ka moana hohonu, pi I ka lewa nuu, I ka hikina, ayakala, e ala e. E ala e, kalai kahikina, I ka moana hohonu, pi I ka lewa nuu, I ka hikina, ayakala, e ala e.
So I invite you to join me in prayer. I'll begin by just taking a gentle breath in and releasing any tension or anxiety that I might have brought here with me today. And I gently turn my attention to my conscious God unity. And there I am reminded that God is all the power and presence that exists in the universe. God is all there is. God is in, of, and through all, everything and every being, including me. That means that as a being of God, I have access to that same power and potential that I like to call God. And so from that place of understanding, I speak my word that I greet each morning with enthusiastic expectation for what is coming that day. And to borrow from Rumi, I affirm that I set my life on fire by surrounding myself with people who fan the flames of my being. Knowing then that when I speak my word and release it to the one, it is already done. And so with great gratitude, I simply say, and so it is. Namaste.
I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are is pure spirit. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are is pure spirit. We are life, we are love, we are light, we are joy, we are peace, we are wisdom and beautiful harmony. We are pure spirit. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are is pure spirit. Yes, who we are is pure spirit.
Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Linda. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, I can hold on to this. Like I said, this month we've been celebrating the power of zeal as our theme for the month. And this song that I chose for today does not have a Hawaiian theme, I'm sorry. But it is very full of enthusiasm and zeal. And so, here we go. Feel free to dance if you want. I've got a smile on my face and I've got four walls around me. I've got the sun in the sky, all the water surrounds me. I'll win now, but sometimes I'll lose. I've been battered, but I never bruised. It's not so bad. And I say, way, hey, hey, it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind. At the end
the day, you've just got to say it's all right. Janie sings on a corner, what keeps her from crying? Let them say what they want, she won't stop trying. Oh, you know, she might stumble if they push her around. She might fall, but she'll never lie down. It's not so bad. Here we go. And I say, way, hey, hey, it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind. At the end of the day, you've just got to say it's all right. It's all right, it's all right, it's all right. You might feel some sorrow. It's a double-edged knife, but there's always tomorrow. Don't you know? It's up to you now if you sink or swim. Just keep the faith that your ship will come in. It's not so bad. And I say, way, hey, hey, it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind. At the end of the day, you've just got to say, I say, way, hey, hey, it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind. At the end of the day, you've just got to say it's all right. It's all right, it's all right. I've got a smile on my face and I've got four walls around me.
Need another cup of coffee.
Somebody was asking me about what I do. I said, I do Sunday morning inspirational theater. You know, my background is in theater, could you tell? And my feeling is that I want this experience to be a fun experience, because if it's not fun, why would you want to come back? And so I strive to make it fun and inspiring and enlightening and entertaining. So grateful for all of you and grateful for this community and grateful for the opportunity to serve. So arise, arise to that light within. That's where I start today as we begin to explore in our fall renewal series, which will be this week and the 5 subsequent weeks, this book, Working with the Law, by Raymond Hollowell. And so today we cover the first 2. Well, the funny thing is I always say we cover the first 2 chapters, and then I always say what I'm going to say anyway. Although it is rooted in the reading from the book. Now here's the thing that I want to acknowledge first and foremost is that going to this reading is essentially going back to basics. We're going to take ourselves back because I think sometimes we can feel like we're getting so far ahead that we forget the basics of the philosophy. And so we're going to go back to basics a little bit here. And I think it's a great practice to always return back to what is the center? What is the center of my being? So I'm going to start off I'm going to ask you. And this is not a rhetorical question. Does anyone want to tell me, is there anyone out there who would like to just tell me what it is we teach here at Unity? Love, love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. What else do we teach? What are the fundamental principles of the philosophy? So Sherry is saying that we teach I am God. The law of cause and effect. Awakening. Yes. change my mind, change my experience. Anyone else have any thoughts around what it is we teach here? One power, one presence. Unity. I knew we'd get there eventually. If you've been in the metaphysics class or any of the classes that we teach, we often reference the 5 basic principles of unity. There are only 5 basic principles. Did you know that? 5 principles. And as I joked a few weeks ago when I was actually here, I said, I speak to these things every single week, and I'm looking at 52 new ways to say it every single week, every year, right? Here are the 5 principles. God is. God is. God is the only thing that exists. Now, if you haven't challenged, some people come to New Thought traditions because they have a challenge with the word God. So replace it with whatever you need to replace it with. Universal energy, infinite spirit, whatever works for you. I like to use the word God because I know what I mean when I say God. I'm not talking about that man with the beard up in the sky that so many of us were brought up with. I'm talking about the infinite creative energy of the universe that is pure love. That's all it is. And that's the only thing that exists. It is infinite. So that's the first principle. The second principle we teach is I am. That's who and what we are. Now, here's how I have acknowledged this in my own mind from a logical perspective. If God is infinite, there can be nothing separate from the infinite, otherwise God would be finite. So I cannot be separate from God, which is why Sherry yelled out, I am God. People have a hard time hearing that, and I'm going to say, while I acknowledge and understand you saying that to me here, it might not be the most effective conversation starter at Thanksgiving. Know your audience. So knowing that God is all there is, and that's who and what we are, each and every one of us is this infinite power and presence of creative energy, the energy of pure love. It is our thoughts and our beliefs. It is the consciousness that creates the circumstances of our lives. So the only thing we're ever looking to address in this philosophy is consciousness, our thoughts, our beliefs, and our feelings, and the way they all work together. And we can address them actively because that's the power we have as God, because God is all there is. God is wanting to be expressed by means of each and every one of us, and God is wanting us to express our most magnificent lives. So number 3 is thought and belief, feeling, our consciousness create the circumstances of our lives. Number 4, we're getting into the practical part of it. And this is a really important thing that I want everyone to hear. What we teach here is that we direct those circumstances consciously through prayer and meditation. Why do you think, well, it's a rhetorical question, I guess. This one is a rhetorical question. Why do you think we make that one of our primary principles? Just think about it for a moment. Prayer and meditation are primary in the teaching. The 5th principle is this. We actively choose to use it. We actively choose to use these tools to create the circumstances of our lives. We are called upon, each and every one of us, to be actively working with the law. See how I see a good segue there, eh? So those are the 5 principles. God is, I am, thoughts and beliefs create our experiences. We set the tone, we create those circumstances through thought and prayer and feeling, and we choose to actively use it in this philosophy. So that is actually the extent of the paradigm. That's all we teach until you get to a book that says Working with the Law, 11 Truth Principles for Successful Living. But here's the thing, it's one principle. It's one principle, the principle of creation. That's all it is. And these are different tools and techniques for activating and understanding that principle of creation. So we love to confuse ourselves in our own paradigm. And we look to all those other things and look, oh, here's the book, here's that book, and then here's this practice over here, and then here's this practice, and here's this other thing, and here's this guru said, and we start to mush it all together, right? Many in New Thought. Now, the reason I stopped on number 4 is because I find that many in the New Thought movement tend to look to everything to change their life other than what we teach, prayer. They're looking to shift the circumstances and manipulate the circumstances out there and to do these things out here and to, oh, wait, I know I've been taught this technique, but we teach prayer. That's what we teach. And so for me, people are surprised when I say my go-to is prayer. Because prayer activates consciousness to create. Now, the reason that many of us do that can be, I think, a little clue into our conception of our own faith. Now, that conception, I think, is doubt. We profess, this stuff works, but there's that little voice in the back of our head, that's saying, but does it really? I'm not really sure. That's the voice to listen to, because that's the active belief. And if our beliefs are creating our experience, that's the belief to address. Because the more we crowd out the belief of doubt with the belief of faith, the more we actively create our lives in the way that we would like to create our lives. This is one of the magnificent quotes from this book by Raymond Hollowell. The law is that the mind is no greater than its conceptions. So what this says is, if your conception is rooted in doubt, you've just limited yourself. That's the limit. You can go no further than your own doubt in the creation of your life. That's the law of cause and effect, or the law of mind action, the law itself of creation. The great masters have invited us all to this understanding. Every great mystic master has invited us to this understanding. And they were not here inviting us to worship them. No, they were inviting us to come into a space and a place of understanding alongside them, because fundamentally, if I know who I am and you know who you are, that is the great equalizer. So the things that you do are a magnificent inspiration to the whole world. Do you believe that? Oh, that was very rousing, wasn't it? I'll tell you somebody who absolutely believed that, Jesus. Jesus believed that. He said, the things that I do, you will do, and even greater than I. Are we doing it? It was a mixed bag there in that response. But we are all called upon to root ourselves in the understanding that the infinite and I are one. Jesus said it when he said the Father and I are one. That's what he was talking about. And he was not excluding himself. No true mystic has ever excluded themselves. Buddha said, I am not something to be worshipped. I am someone who is awakened. Paraphrasing. But isn't our job to be awakened? Isn't that what we are looking for? Aren't we coming here and, we want to be inspired on a Sunday. But what do you leave with? Do you leave with an awakened sense of self? Have you arisen like the sun to an open sense of the truth of your being? And can you maintain it? That's the part. Because I think it can be real easy in these walls sometimes, because you have a lot of people around and go, oh, you are magnificent, and you are magnificent, you are so magnificent. And then you walk out the door and he's like, I am no, not really. Our work then, this is the work. Our work is to expand our conceptions. If the law is that the mind is no greater than its conceptions, then we must expand our conceptions. This morning I was in Starbucks for the 1 cup of coffee I've had so far today. At 5 o'clock in the morning, by the way, which is when I go to Starbucks on Sunday, and then come here. And the barista there and I had a very brief conversation. It's the Starbucks I always go to, so they all know me. that tells you how frequently I go to Starbucks, because they really know me, and they all know I'm a minister. And the barista who was there, they said to me this morning, oh, you know what, I don't go to church. I was forced to go to church as a kid, and I just have a real bad taste in my mouth around it. And I didn't really get into the conversation very deeply, but I started thinking about the conception of faith that is absent. And it's not mine to say, oh, you should have faith. She's on her own journey. She's on her own journey. But it was just an illuminating moment to say, wow, I really do have faith in the unseen. And that's something that took me a while to develop. And so if you're not there yet, that's okay too. Keep working it. Keep applying the practical tools that we offer. Because as you apply those practical tools to root yourself in the truth of your being, life just gets easier. It just gets easier. So I have faith in a law that says yes all the time, no matter what. That's what I have come to understand. I keep looking at the book as though it's going to tell me something else. I have faith in a law, and I am rooted in that faith very deeply now. I've been doing this, I first came into New Thought almost 20 years ago. I became a minister 11 and a half years ago. And there are some things that come up. Now, I've mentioned the law of cause and effect. I've mentioned the law of mind action. I've mentioned the law of creation. It's all the same law. It's all the same law. In fact, when you get to the headers in the book and it says the law of thinking, the law of supply, the law of attraction, the law of receiving, it's all the same law. And if you read the preface, he says, if we were to replace the words the law with the word God, that is something to understand. God is the law, and that's who we are. So we are the law. Now, there's another thing that happens in these circles, and that is people come into New Thought and they say, oh, you're all very intellectual, but there's no heart. It's very cold and impersonal. And here's how I will say we can move past that. You provide the heart. You provide the heart to a law that is, the law itself is impersonal. But as we provide the heart and we allow ourselves to be rooted in that love, then God is as personal as you decide for God to be. Yeah. All failures in life are due to taking sides with the finite all around us. All success in life is due to taking sides with the law within us. This goes to what I was mentioning before. We look out there and we try to manipulate all the finite circumstances out there, right? You are doomed to failure if you do that. That's what he's saying here. All failures in life are due to taking sides with the finite all around us. Oh, this is the way it's going to be because this little itty-bitty portion of the infinite is the thing that I'm looking to. Instead of saying, I am the breadth of the infinite power of pure love. All success in life is due to taking sides with the law within us, the law of love, the law of creation, the only law, which we should just say, it's the law. Stop putting all those other adjectives around it. It's just the law. So what we need to do is we need to adjust this a little bit. Because here's the thing about it. There's no such thing as failure. All failures are perceptions. When something in the world seems to have failed, it's because we have decided that it is a failure. But God, the law, can never fail. It is always constructively moving forward and growing and evolving upon itself. That's the truth. And as we allow ourselves to acknowledge and live that truth, then all things that we look at as failures are only perceptions of failure. So now I want to talk a little bit about one of the experiences. Yeah, if the glasses come off, you know. I want to talk a little bit about one of the experiences I had on the island. Every year as part of this event that I go to, the Sacred Journey. This year it was the Sacred Journey of the Mystic, and they have a different theme every year. So this year was the Sacred Journey of the Mystic. And one of the events that they always do, they change up all the events, but one of the events that we always do is we always go to the Hindu monastery and we are able to we were able to have an audience with one of the swamis there. Now, first of all, did you know that there's a magnificent Hindu temple and a monastery on the island of Kauai? If you ever go to Kauai, it is a must. It is extraordinary. So we are fortunate enough, our group, to always be able to meet with one of the swamis. And this year, the swami said something really interesting. He said, I know who you are. I know who you are. You people who are part of this New Thought movement, I know who you are, because you're about as close to Hinduism as you will ever get in the Western world. He said, you know the truth of your being. You know the unified wholeness of the universe. That's all we're ever working on or thinking about or teaching in Hinduism. And so he said, so I will ask you a question that I wouldn't ask any other group. What do you think about evil? He asked. Well, what do we come up with? Evil is a perception. That's it. Evil is a perception. And he said there was one of his gurus who, as a monastic practice, would say only one sentence every year, otherwise he was completely in silence. And one sentence he said one year, he said it in Tamil, and I'm not going to try to say it in Tamil, but the translation essentially works out to this: there is not one thing wrong in this world. And then he went back into silence and didn't say anything for another year. So what we discovered collectively with respect to evil is that evil is a perception. There is not one thing wrong in this world. There can only be seemingly evil actions in the world of form, but if you take it back and take it back and take it back to the fundamental premise that God is all there is, then there can be no evil. Evil is a perception. Seeming evil is a perception in the way that some people choose to work the law. And you can use the law constructively and destructively. And I think it's when we are utilizing the law in a destructive way, we call that evil. Oh, it's such a downer now, isn't it? We just call it evil. It's a conception. Yes, thank you. It's a perception, it's a conception. But here's the thing. It's just an idea. There is no evil. There is no evil. There is no evil. Can I say it again? There is no evil. There is only the way we utilize the law. And if you are using it in a way that is destructive, there's only one element that is being destroyed. You. That's it. Because you have no power over anyone else unless they give you that power. So also it is a call to each and every one of us to be aware of who we are giving our power to. Everything is perception, all of it, 100% of it. All of it. Our mental state dictates our experience. And we spend a lot of time letting our experience dictate our mental state. Stop watching the news. Stop listening to gossip. Stop complaining about all the things out there. Because that is allowing the experience to dictate our mental state. But we are the ones who are in charge. Our mental state dictates our experience. So, yeah, I hear you. So if you want more love, these things that are listening all the time, if you want more love, be more loving. If you want more peace, allow yourself to express more peace that is the inherent internal sense of being that you are. If you want more of anything, any joy, be more joyful. That's the way this stuff works. That is actually how you work the law. We have one job and one job only, and that is to deepen into the awareness of our being. That is why, I'm not ready to go there yet. That is why Remember who you are is perhaps the most important part of our mission statement. Because when you remember who you are, you actually eliminate the construct of love only, because you can only be love if you remember who you are. And there is no need for forgiveness if you remember who you are. If you understand that principle, then you do not require forgiveness towards anyone or for anyone, because you can never be in a situation or an expression that would require forgiveness. Rooting yourself in the truth of your being, that's what it's all about. Deepening into awareness. Attention should be given to the predominant mental state, for it will regulate the action and direction of all one's forces, faculties, and powers. And that's what this entire Fall Renewal series is about. Deepening our awareness of our own mental state. In that deepened awareness, we become masters of the law, rather than becoming subjects to it. I believe, you get to decide what you believe, but I believe that an awareness of our inherent divinity is key in the practice. Being able to step forth confidently and in the right company and saying, I am God, and so are you. Because there can be nothing other than God. Knowing ourselves as divine is key in the practice. Now, a lot of people will say, well, yeah, is that really what unity stands for? Yes. We're called unity, not separation. Charles Fillmore, in an unpublished transcript of a talk he gave, said this: we speak to God in the third person, and then in the second person. He's talking about how we evolve. We speak to God in the second person, and then in the second person. In our present development, we speak to be God in the second. That's not right. We speak to God in the second person. I have an extra B in there. That's wrong. We speak to God in the second person. God is the Spirit within you, as though there's something within you and there's like the rest of you is something else. God is the Spirit within you. But the time is coming. This is the important part. But the time is coming, he said, when we shall speak of God in the first person, for we shall displace all separation. We are here to fulfill this law of divine unity. In that, he is saying we must be able to step forth and say, I am God, and not have it as a sense of anything other than I know who I am and I know who you are. Because what we're saying, we're not saying, I am God and I will lord over you. No, we're saying, I know the truth of my being, and it must be true for you as you. There can be no separation. We are here to fulfill this law of divine unity, to unify ourselves with this spirit of love within each and every one of us. This is where we have always been headed, and we are continuing to evolve in that direction. And I believe that now, as we see the world of quantum physics and quantum theory supporting what it is we teach, that everything is potential, everything is consciousness. And as we consider through observation that potential, we collapse it into expression. That's just another way of saying your thoughts create your experience. You are not one in God. You are not one with God, as Ernest Holmes says. You are one of God. That's the truth of your being. So today, Allah, a call to the sun to arise and awaken, and for each and every one of us to arise and awaken to that inherent light within. Peace and blessings. You are magnificent. The homework this week. Oh, you had a couple weeks without homework. If you are new to this community, I give homework every week. Not everyone who speaks up here gives homework every week, but I choose to give homework. Part of it is, do read the next 2 chapters if you're following along. Read the next 2 chapters in Working with the Law. It's the law of supply and the law of attraction. If you would like to pick up the book, we still have some copies in the Desert Light bookstore. But the practice that I would like you to engage in is this. Take time in meditation this week to deepen into the understanding of what it is I've talked about. Understanding the manner of your connection as wholeness. Meditate on that. I am wholeness. I am light. I am that. I am. We are unity, not separation. So meditate on that this week. I'm going to invite you to take into your heart whatever kernel of truth has resonated with you here today. Just breathing in and allowing yourself to come into a relaxed state as we move into this time of reflection.
Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my divinity. As within, so without. All I need is here and now. Where there's air, let me love. May I have no fear. All the power, all the glory, I surrender. Let it be. Loving Spirit dwells in me, now and evermore. I know who I am. I know who we are. I know that there is only one infinite power and presence, the presence of that greatness on demand, that good orderly direction, the universal spirit, the infinite power that is God. And I know and trust in the power of God working as me, through me, and as and through each and every one of us, for there is no aspect of our being that is not wholly divine. For there can be nothing separate from the infinite. And so I trust in the flow of this good by calling upon myself and knowing that each and every one of us in our own unique way calls upon ourselves to be more love, to be more joy, to be more peace, to express more beauty, to be more understanding, to be more imaginative, to live life forward moving with zeal. I trust and know that this is the truth of my being. And I am in great gratitude and appreciation for this. I allow it to unfold as it will, as it always will, for it can do nothing but unfold perfectly as I understand this word spoken is the activation of law. I let it be so and affirm it by saying, and so it is. Amen. Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my divinity. As within, so without. All I need is here and now. Where there's air, let me love.
tomorrow, so I'm going to let you in on a little secret. It's not really a secret. I'm sorry, I'm not here next Sunday. The reason why is because I'm going to Southern California for the Unity Southwest Region Conference. And tomorrow I pick up from the Palm Springs Airport Gary Lynn Floyd, who's going to be the our music director at this year's conference. He wrote this song. But I'm going to tell him that he needs to change a lyric. Because it is not loving spirit dwells in me. Loving spirit dwells as me. Yeah. So I'm going to tell him that. I'm going to say, Gary, get it together. Would you please welcome today's board member on duty who's here to guide us in our offering, Roberta Latham. Thank you so much for being here, Roberta. Good to have you.
I was gone too. Nothing like coming home. Well, sometimes. Anyway, had a great time. Thank you all for being here today. This is just very... Oh, that better? Thank you. Okay. Thank you. I'll start over. Thank you for being here today. It's so gratifying to stand up here and see how many people are here. It's more every time I'm up here. Appreciate that. Grateful, gratitude, something that in Jonathan's message rang with me as far as the line is, people sometimes argue for their limitations. Do we experience that sometimes? Like, yes, but I can't do that. Yes, but I'm too old. Arguing for our limitations. That's not productive, is it? Not at all. So, if we can suspend that and apply it to financial limitations, let's go there, because this is why I'm up here. Anyway, if we constantly say to ourselves or to each other or in our community, but we can't afford that. Well, how about if we change that to, how can I afford that? And that's a whole different take on it, isn't it? That we can raise enough money. And guess what happened the last 2 days? The yard sale. I want to acknowledge Karen Ives and her team for working so hard. I don't know yet how much money we raised. We'll find out as we go along. But thank you, thank you, thank you. That is one way we can meet our financial obligations and keep this place as magnificent as it is. Of course, the other way is by our own personal giving. And as the baskets start to come around, and if the ushers would come forward and get that started, please use your card if you're an automatic giver, or you can put your money in the basket and please bless it as you go by and say how grateful you are to be here and enjoy. Yeah, Tom, are you here? Guess not. Okay, that's good. We got everybody. So let's start the baskets around, and we'll sing our song, and we'll contribute to this magnificent place.
Before the baskets go around, though, let's acknowledge with gratitude in our hearts our divine giving as statement. I share this gift with love, conscious of the inner presence as the lavish source and substance of my supply. I am rooted in the assurance that this gift blesses Unity of Tucson, and I trust in its ever-present circulation, knowing its blessings return to me. And so it is. Now the baskets can go around. Let's sing and dance.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful. Here we go. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful.
Yes, if you would please welcome Reverend Sue Oliver here to bless the offering today as it makes its way back down the aisle.
Yeah, I have to put something in it.
And you can put something in it too.
I can't, I'm so grateful. Here it comes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Take a look around at prosperity as each one of us today being grateful for prosperity showing up in so many ways. I'm going to put this in here. Yes, thank you. And blessing, the term blessing means confer prosperity upon. And I'm going to actually change it up because I think a blessing is acknowledging the amazing flow of the Spirit that happens to show up in many forms, and it shows up as finances, as the flow. But we know right here and now that the prosperity that's emerging as this center, as this wonderful Unity of Tucson is so much more. And so we get to acknowledge this prosperity as with each breath we take, which each gift we give, which each gift we receive. And so the blessing is simply saying yes to it and allowing it to be, yes, gratefully, graciously, it is. So it is.
So it is.
Thank you.
Amen. Thank you so much, Sue. Thank you, gentlemen, for your support here today. You can take it now. She did. That was the prayer. Yeah, there are a couple of things that I want to let you know about. One of the things that I didn't get a graphic for it because it missed, a lot going on in my life. I don't know if you know that. November 12th, Unitix is having an outing to go to the Desert Museum. There's a sign-up sheet and all information is in the foyer over at what I will lovingly call Molly's Table. So you can find out more information about that event, November 12th, Desert Museum. Looking forward to that. Molly also has purchased and would like to give out masks for anyone who would like a mask. As we move into cold and flu, and I guess we're now going to be saying cold, flu, and COVID season. But first of all, we do not believe that those things have any power over us. Right? So let's acknowledge that first and foremost. If you feel more comfortable wearing a mask, Molly has a mask for you. It's the KN95 mask. We do have a board meeting that is going to be that's going to be happening today at 11:45 over in the annex in room 3. As members of this community, you are welcome to observe the meetings of the board, and if you would like to be there, we'd be delighted to have you. Also, there's a women's retreat coming up next week. Yay! I say yay like I'm going to be there. I'm not going to be there. Today, though, however, is the final day to register. So if you are intending to go and you have not registered, please register today. If you're online, you can register at our website, unitytucson.com, or if you're in the room, you can register at our website. But you can also go to the Desert Light Bookstore and register there. I want to say thank you. Sorry, before I get to thank yous, I want to say that our prayer chaplains in service today are the two magnificent chaplains that you see here, Sherry Bolin and Reverend Sue Oliver. If you would like a moment of prayer following the service, they will be available to you here about halfway down the mid part of the sanctuary, and they are happy to pray with you. We also have the option of prayer intention slips that you can put into our prayer box. Those get prayed upon by our entire prayer chaplain team, and they will be sent as well to Silent Unity, Unity's prayer, Unity's worldwide prayer, what's the word I'm looking for? Ministry, that's the word I'm looking for. Easy word, right? Yes. And I'm so grateful for all of our prayer chaplains in service here at Unity of Tucson. I am also deeply grateful, and I want to acknowledge Rebecca. See, this is what happens when you go away. You come back and you forget everybody's name. Roberta already mentioned the yard sale, but what I would like to do is if you are someone who donated anything to the yard sale, would you please rise? Thank you. And remain standing. Remain standing. If you are anybody who participated as a volunteer in service to the yard sale, would you please rise? I am in deep gratitude for all that you have provided this community, and I would like to also offer a special acknowledgement to the woman who ran it all, Karen Ives. Thank you so much. The numbers are in. We raised $2,700 in the yard sale. I want to say thank you to everybody who makes this amazing thing happen. Wally and Don and Rowan, our tech team in the back, thank you so much. Yes, yes, yes. I do want to acknowledge my gratitude to all of our greeters and ushers. I also want to say thank you to Roberta, our board member on duty. Yes, and I want to say thank you to Lynn, my mom, for lighting the flames of faith and going with the flow when she wasn't sure what was happening. I want to say thank you to Reverend Sue Oliver and Sherry Bolin, our prayer chaplains here today. Yes. And of course, our magnificent music team, Linda and Fred and Raphael. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for making your presence known, not just here at Unity of Tucson, but in this magnificent experience we call life. You are a blessing, you are the light, and you are magnificent. Thank you for being here. And thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Feel free to welcome us, to join us for social time in Harmony Hall following the service. And as we complete our time here, let's state together the prayer of divine awareness. I am infinite light. I am infinite love. I am infinite power. I am infinite presence. Wherever God is, I am. Wherever I am, God is. And so it is. Amen. Let's let our light shine.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine, shine. Everybody say, shine, shine. You know you want to shine, shine. All around the world, shine, shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, yeah. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. We're gonna let it shine, shine. Everybody say, shine, shine. You know you want to shine, shine. All around the world, shine, shine. Here we go. When there's light in the soul,
When there's light in the soul,
there is beauty in the person.
there's beauty in the person.
When there's beauty in the person,
When there's beauty in the person,
there is harmony in the home.
there's harmony in the home.
When there's harmony in the home,
When there's harmony in the home,
there is honor in the nation.
there's honor in the nation.
When there's honor in the nation,
When there's honor in the nation,
there is peace in the world. No more living in fear, oh no. We're gonna let it shine. Whoa. No more living in fear, oh no. We're gonna let it shine. No more living in fear, oh no. We're gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Gonna let it shine, shine. Everybody say, shine, shine. You know you want to shine, shine. All around the world, shine, shine. All my brothers and sisters, shine, shine. Shine your light on the world, shine, shine. You know you want to shine, shine. Let's give it a shot. Shine, shine. Make it a magnificent week, everyone. Aloha.